Well, you picked an interesting time to show up this time now with the whole fires and the heat wave.
I know, dude. Yeah, that's pretty full on.
Did you make it on Saturday?
To the festival?
Yeah, to the night 2.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, saw Tim play and a few other bands, Cursed Bastards. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. As you mentioned earlier, I've been hanging out with Gator a little bit. He's been doing some post-production stuff for us.
Yeah, that's cool.
You guys have a little history together?
Yeah, we met probably... Let's turn my phone off. We met 15 years ago or something.
Okay, were you guys playing with each other, or did you guys have that sounded weird. You guys on
playing with each other. Just
I meant as musicians.
Friend of a friend. Yeah, we met through some mutual friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a great bass player. I saw him playing with some rockabilly guys. You know, he used to play with a lot of the old rockabilly cats, Glenn and stuff like that.
Yeah, he has some history when you talk to him. He has a lot of stories. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Good little encyclopedia for that.
Yeah.
All right, so you hung over this time. Remember last time? For those who don't know, listening to that, this is actually our second time interviewing Stu. The first one we call it the Lost episode because something happened. It was night 3 of Cyclone?
I think so. Yeah.
It was pretty chaotic. Our sound guy was hungover. It was.
I was sick actually last year. I lost my voice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. It's always fun trying to do a gig with half a voice.
Oh, during the Cyclone?
Yeah.
Because I remember I spoke to you the following month when you came back to town. You said you had the flu.
Yeah, I was sick for a while last year.
So carried on.
Yeah, man, it was annoying.
No, usually, after Cyclone, we call it the Cyclone flu. I always most people end up getting a cough or some kind of symptoms from you're in a hotel, all that bad air, all those people.
Rockabilly psychosis in the garage disease.
Yeah, you're catching something.
Yeah.
At least it's only a cough or a headache as opposed to something really bad.
Yeah, that's true, right?
All right. So what's been going on this whole past year since the last show when you were sick at Cyclone? What did you do afterwards? You said you were talking about going home again, or?
Yeah, time flies. I went back to Australia for a while. That was cool. Yep. I had fun digging through. I was putting some stuff into storage actually because I've been traveling a lot, so it was pretty funny, just digging through boxes of stuff I hadn't looked at for a long time.
Oh no! Anything embarrassing or anything really jogging your memory? Oh fuck, I remember that.
Yeah, I found a lot of cool band shirts and stuff from touring over the years, so that was cool. I found an old Limit Club shirt actually that I sent a photo of to Nick, and he was pretty stoked about it.
Oh, I think I seen that. Was it one they stopped making? They haven't printed out.
It was like a glow in the dark shirt. Yeah. So
they had several. I remember they had a little Frankenstein face guy for a little while. I think too. They had a couple.
Yeah, this one had Frankenstein on it. It was pretty cool. Frankenstein's monster. It was good, and it was fun digging through storage. Found a lot of old records I own, and
you find your old makeup.
I did find my old makeup actually. Still got the ZGT makeup. Yeah, it's in this little coffin makeup case.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's all there. It's probably gone bad by now.
Oh yeah, so makeup has a little time limit to it.
Maybe, I don't know. Might burn my face off.
Yeah. Did you ever break out wearing that shit?
It's pretty full on. It's very hard to sweat through it. So it's just oh man, it's insane.
Because I remember seeing you back then. I didn't know you back then. I just would go to your shows as a fan of the music. I remember, you had the makeup caked on. Yeah. You had the nice coat over it with the full suit and everything.
Yeah.
Really went all out. I'm oh man, they're gonna be dying by the end of the night.
Yeah, I know, man. We had drape coats, and I had this leopard skin coat as well, and it was pretty hot.
Yeah. And your drummer had Tommy's on him probably.
You mentioned
earlier for the Tommy's trip.
Yeah, he had a Tommy's burger on him. Yeah.
On his face.
Yeah.
You didn't want to tell him.
Yeah, plenty of good food on the road.
Okay, cool. So you're digging through some old stuff for storage. You're visiting Australia. You said just you're doing some traveling, so you're storing some stuff.
Yeah. I've been in Nashville mostly. The last little while, so all my stuff in Oz is in storage.
Okay.
So, which is annoying actually, because I have lots of musical gear and stuff that's tucked away. But
yeah, and you kind of how you have a storage container out here. It's a few blocks away, which is 27 minutes.
Yeah.
In your case, you're American now. It's just a few blocks away across the country.
It's just around the corner. 5 hours on a plane. You got to try this new burger joint. It's just around the corner.
Oh my God, yeah, it is a pain in the ass. Your storage container in another country.
I know, man, and it's packed. It's like I don't know, Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. If you go in there and everything falls on top of you, you got to roll out under the door and grab your hat.
Yeah, that sounds like my closet, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay for a storage space, so I'm like,
Right, yeah.
Because out here, if you don't pay, don't they keep your shit, George?
They put you on a reality television
Oh, that's
show.
right, Storage Wars. And then it
Yeah.
turned out to be fake, and everyone was pissed off.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they were planting shit in there.
Ah, boo.
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah, actually, fact check that, George. I'm pretty sure Storage Wars had a... Yeah, it turns out some of the stuff they were planting in there, they were like
I'm
planting
sure they
shit.
did, like any reality in
Yeah.
inverted commas.
Because how the fuck are you going to find that much cool shit? Say, for example, if your show was on... If your storage container was on that show, what would they find that's valuable?
They'd find some pretty cool shit, I guess. Well, cool to me anyway. I don't know
Yeah.
about anyone else. Lots of records, tons of records, guitars, old amps, and recording gear.
But for records and for like music equipment, doesn't it have to be like a certain kind of temperature, though?
Yeah, I kind of tried to pick a storage unit that was in a good spot.
Okay.
In it, not too hot. Yeah.
Yeah. So with the heat wave out here, how's it like in Australia as far as weather-wise? You guys have warmer climate.
We do, yeah. Sydney gets pretty hot. I mean, not as hot as up north in Australia, but I think the hottest I've been in is 117, which is about 47 Celsius. Yeah.
What was it Saturday? Like 106, George, if you remember? 108, 109, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's hot. Been hot here in LA.
Yeah, so we're not used to it. The fires are kind of... LA's been on fire too, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, I hope everyone's okay.
Yeah, what was that fact, George, you told me earlier about how much was the acres that were burned?
7,000 acres.
Hold on one second.
7,000 acres burned, the largest fire in LA history.
Whoa, well, it's funny, because not funny, but the weather's so different in America. I left Nashville on Thursday and it was like tornado warnings and big storms, and then I came here and it's a heat wave. So yeah.
Imagine for people like Clax who are leaving like I was gonna say Australia. I've been talking about this whole time. They're leaving Austin, AU,
Yeah.
Austin, and Texas, a whole flood and everything. Disaster to come here is a little disaster itself.
I know, right? Yeah, it's crazy weather in America. What you guys have been?
We're fucking up.
The gods are mad.
Yeah. Man. So we were talking about how you lost your voice last year at Cyclone. You also told me you were forgetting some of your lyrics for some of the Zombie Ghost Train stuff.
Yeah, I'm good at that. I think I talked about that on stage last night, but that's just that I'm so bad at remembering lyrics of songs that I wrote. I don't know why, but I embrace it.
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
Well, it's kind of like even an old story from something that happened a long time ago. Wait, how did that go? I forgot what happened,
Yeah. I was telling a story last night of how it's always funny because like I'll be singing a song and I'll be watching someone down the front and they'll be singing along, and then I'll sing something wrong and they'll like look at me and laugh and I'll be like, ugh.
You should master the art of lip reading so you can just watch them
Right?
sing
Yeah,
along.
like an auto cue. Yeah.
Yeah, and just hire someone to sing along with you, like one of your fans. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, I'll throw you some free merchandise. I got some makeup here, you want it?
But the funny thing is, it's not like I don't know the songs. It's like songs I've been singing for 15 years. It's just that when I'm on stage and I'm just having a good time, sometimes I just forget the words.
Yeah.
I think a lot of singers do. But
No, yeah. It was brought up too when I was Diabats. Carol had the same problem.
Yeah.
That she would just forget the lyrics.
Yeah.
Look at her drummer.
People are like, how do you not know the words to your song? It's like, I know them. I just had a blank.
Yeah. But also, you're playing guitar too, so you gotta remember your riffs and your lyrics.
That's true. Yeah.
So there's a little brain fart there.
Yeah. A brain fart. Lots of brain farts.
All right. So are you still in Nashville right now, or where are you staying at?
Yeah, man. Still in Nashville. I'll be there for a little while. So I've been playing a bit there, doing some honky tonk stuff.
That's right. Because we're talking about Zombie Ghost Train, which is what you're mostly known for, but you also have a man named Stu.
Yeah.
Which is a very well thought out name.
Yeah. That was funny actually because I was playing a gig in Sydney and someone's like, oh, what name should I put on the poster? And I was like, I'll just put Stu. It's like, I don't know, just put Stu. So they put a man called Stu, and then my friend goes, oh, is that your new band name? And I go, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like it. Maybe it is. So.
Even your merchandise is very simple. It's just like a little silhouette of you. Just like, my name's Stu.
Yeah. So I do the honky tonk stuff. I mean, I've always been into lots of different stuff. I kind of grew up mostly getting into like rockabilly and rock and roll before psychobilly and punk rock. As a kid, I was really into Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and Jerry Lee Lewis and all that great stuff.
I want to stop you right here because I realize we've been going on for a little while. People listening who probably never heard of you are Zombie Ghost Train. Let's play a quick Zombie Ghost Train track and then come back, and I want to hear more about this. What would you like to hear?
Oh, good question. Why don't we go with Gone?
All right, here's Gone by Zombie Ghost Train. All right, cool. So you were saying growing up, and this is in Aussie, of course, you were mostly into the rockabilly stuff.
Yeah. I mean, from quite a young age, actually, I really got into 50s rock and roll. I saw a movie late night. I was like sick and using it as an excuse to watch telly at 4 a.m. or whatever,
okay.
I was like 7 or 8, and that Bill Haley movie Don't Knock the Rock came on, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever, just a great movie, and the music was awesome, and the band were such great entertainers, and I was like, this is cool, and then I think La Bamba came out, and I really got into that.
Okay.
And,
I think instead of your dad came out and he caught you, you're like, oh, are you watching?
Yeah.
I thought
what
you
are you
were
watching?
sick. I am.
Watching porn? No. It's rock and roll.
Oh, in those days though, did you you couldn't get porn on cable?
No, I
right?
don't think so. No,
remember-
we didn't even have cable in Australia.
Oh god, I was such a little pervert when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Was not.
Was.
We used to have something called like I used to have like Cinemax or just Showtime After Dark or whatever.
Oh,
cable.
yeah,
They
right.
had the really bad like softcore porn, you know,
Yeah.
where they were like they had like storylines to them and everything that didn't make sense. There's always guns and murder and deceit and just boobs. My parents would walk in like you.
Any excuse.
Yeah, my parents like you're a little pervert. I'm sorry, you know, because you try to change it real quick. Like, what are you watching? And they had they had a button on the remote control that has last channel, so you could press the last channel button and go back.
Yeah.
Plowed by like two dudes, you know.
You get caught.
Acting, yeah, I got caught. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's when I didn't have cable in my room yet. Then after that, I got good at that, lowering the volume.
You got sneaky
I
stealth.
got sneaky, yeah.
Stealth cable. Yeah.
Okay, so you pretend to be sick and you're watching that movie. You said Bill Haley.
Yeah. So, and I just got into that old stuff. I mean, I saw American Hot Wax, which had Jerry Lee Lewis and Screaming Jay Hawkins coming out of the coffin in it, and I was like, this is the coolest shit ever.
Okay.
So I just was totally into rock and roll.
And
And
you mentioned La Bamba.
yeah, I loved La Bamba, man. I think I was
What
like,
was that movie? Remember we used to have a movie where.
Hold on.
Remember I used to have a movie, a 50s movie, and it had Richie Valens in it. And they tell Richie, play that song. And out of under the table, he brings out a guitar and he starts playing.
Yeah, you had like a little compilation video from old rockabilly artists. I remember. Didn't I borrow it for like ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have this bad habit of borrowing shit and like never giving it back. That's why whenever someone offers to loan me something, a movie, a CD, I always say no, because one, I'll damage it. Two, I won't watch it. Or three, you'll never get it back.
yeah, I've lent a few good albums out over the years that I regret.
Yeah. So that's why if you offer, I'll say no. Unless it's George, I'll borrow his shit all day because I don't care.
It's like the Ghoul in School.
Oh yeah, it was a compilation of old horror movies.
Oh yeah,
Like
nice.
old school ones, like A Ghoul in School, the Gillid Monster.
Oh yeah, yep.
Are you familiar with those old movies?
Yeah, oh yeah. I think that was filmed in Los Angeles, that one actually. Yeah. Lots of great B-grade movies. I used to always go to the video store and rent as much B-grade stuff as I could find. There was like a thing called the Drive-In Collection. It was all the American International pictures, like Invasion of the Saucer Man and Drag Strip
yes.
Girl and all that great stuff. It conquered the world. That's my favorite. It conquered the world.
Did you ever mess with like the 90s really, really bad B-movie ones? Like Frankenhooker?
Not as much. I mean, I've seen Frankenhooker, and I mean, I know that stuff, but I was more into the 50s trash culture stuff.
B movie stuff started making a comeback, right? Sharknado and all those.
Oh, you're right. Like Sharknado
I
and
was
stuff,
talking
yeah.
about Sharknado the other day
The
with
two-headed shark.
Luis from Lycan's Den.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know him. Freaking, I was going to say, there's Sharknado. Also, they have like, even just like B horror movies, like, what's that one, Hatchet? That's like a super B movie too. They have like Hatchet 3, Hatchet 4, and they keep having the chick from Halloween. She played a little girl.
The movie Your Car, or was it?
Oh, that's right, yeah. I guess it is a B movie. And my car was featuring a movie that's coming out this month, a B movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It takes place in Alabama, and these racist dudes are driving my car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my friends in it, they murder him.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, with my car.
I remember when I was at university, some friends were shooting like a little short B movie thing, and we all were in it. You know, we drove off to this little town, and it was freezing. I mean, it was fucking freezing, and I had to be mooning. I was mooning this. I think this guy went on like a car rampage or something, and so I was like mooning this car, and then the car like runs me over basically.
Oh, in the B movie?
Yeah. So I'm like mooning this car, and then the car drives at me, and I had to roll over the bonnet. And I was like, cool, I'll do that. You know,
Yeah.
whatever. It was hilarious, and it really
That
hurt.
was your 15 minutes?
It really hurt rolling over the car bonnet, actually. Like, it was only going pretty slow, but yeah.
It's still metal. Did you fall and hit the concrete too? Or?
No, it was all right, but I just kind of like rolled up over the bonnet. I was like, that hurt a little bit more than I thought it would. Not really a stunt man.
So you're talking about some of the so B-grade movies you're into. What else? What are some of the B-grade movies that kind of influenced you growing up? You say you grew up watching the Bill Haley ones, as I mentioned earlier. Let's talk about some of the B-grade horror you mentioned.
Yeah. Well,
Because if I noticed, Zombie Ghost Train has that style to it, that flavor.
Yeah, totally. I mean, definitely like all the American International Pictures stuff. I mean, I I would hire all that stuff and just love to watch it. So, like I mentioned, Invasion of the Saucer Man and It Conquered the World. They were kind of my two favorite ones that they put out. But whatever I could get my hands on, I mean, The Blob. I love The Blob, which was, that was a well-known movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed the black and white one, actually it was in color.
Yeah, it was in color. Yeah.
That fucking kid with the little cap gun shooting at the Blob,
Yeah, it was so cool.
I was like, what's he doing?
So cool.
Get him! I was rooting for the Blob to get him.
Go Blob. The Santo movies as well, like Santo versus the Vampire Women. That was a really cool.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So dug all that stuff, whatever I could find. I mean, at the time it was harder to find because there wasn't, the internet really.
Yeah.
But there was like mail order catalogs in Australia. I think there's one called Sinister Urge, and they had a lot of movies you could order. And then of course there was like Something Weird Video over here and some of those other companies that back in the mail order video days. Yeah.
Well, I'll go back to some of the other movies I remember, the ones I would watch, because I used to watch B movies, but not so much the old ones as you mentioned, because I just didn't know about them. I used to watch the 90s ones, like they had, what was that, Full Moon, they did like Puppet Master and shit. Yeah, it's like those really bad movies, like fucking Doll Man versus the Demonic Toys,
right.
Puppet Master, like that whole, like they had some really bad ones. I can't even think of them all right now, but I remember it had bad ones too, and they would copy movies. Like instead of Misery, they had one where it was a girl in high school, she kidnaps her high school crush. It had Jack from Saved by the Bell, and she kills him. Like stuff like that. Instead of Jurassic Park, they had Connoisseur. Yeah. So I remember fucking with those. Growing up.
The thing I loved about those B-grade movies, I mean, they were just hilarious, but also like, they'd come up with the name of the movie and the poster of the movie before they made the movie.
Before they made the movie, yeah.
Especially like all the American International stuff. Samuel Z. Arkoff and James Nicholson would, come up with movie ideas. They'd make a poster and then they'd find like Roger Corman or someone and go like, "Here's $3,000. Go and make a movie. You got a week." So it's cool.
There's this movie too I saw. It's called. You ever heard of this movie called Feeders?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Oh, you saw Feeders?
I can't remember if I've seen it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I dare you to finish it. Try to watch the whole thing through. It's so fucking bad. These things they're fucking puppets. They're little puppets,
Yeah.
And they're tiny little aliens, and like and they have this little. It's like a little metal staff, and they touch the guy, and the guy just collapses. Right. That's how he dies.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's really bad, and I can't believe it was even made when it was made. Like within the past 10 or 20, 15 years.
Right. Sharknado.
Oh, Sharknado. Oh, I love those sci-fi fucking B movies. The special effects, it's like CGI, but from like 10 years ago.
Yeah. I love all the sound effects in the old 50s ones too. They were like really cool, weirdo electronic noises, theremin and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Day the Earth Stood Still. And
oh, yeah.
All that. I guess that was kind of A-grade science fiction, but it was great stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and all the Ed Wood movies too. Plan 9 and stuff like that. That's great.
That's cool. So you have.
That was one take also, right? You had one take.
Yeah, lots of one takes, wonders. Yeah.
What do you think about their trying to bring back the Universal movies now? Like they did a Mummy one, which completely flopped, but they want to bring back Dr. Jekyll, like a Mr. Hyde now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be my thing because I loved the aesthetic of the old movies.
Yeah.
Just everything, the detail, like the costumes, the makeup, like the sets. Like it's not going to be the same for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I wish people would try and be more original, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, everything's been done before, so it's all based on the same theme.
Speaking of old school and like old time, what do you think about the venue last night you played at, the Airliner?
That was cool, man. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, hot and sweaty.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was kind of stoked, right? Because it's kind of a shithole place. It's punk rock. I've been to shows, so you know what to expect, right? You walk up the stairs, they feel like they're about to collapse.
Yeah.
The bathrooms are really weird, and like you're peeing, there's people watching you. Did you notice that? I'm sitting there peeing, like waving at people,
Hey.
How you doing? It's kind of awkward. I'm like, I'm making eye contact with my penis is in my hand. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
It's not on purpose. It's the way the place was designed.
Yeah.
But I was stoked because they told me before they booked the show, we're going to have it there. I'm like, that place, for a 2 or 3 nights because get taught there.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew what to expect. So
Yeah.
so did everyone. And they said, "Oh no, Bar Rescue came." The TV show, reality TV shows we mentioned earlier. Bar Rescue came.
Oh, okay.
And I go in there. I'm like, "Well, did they finish yet? Because this place still looks the fucking same."
What did they do?
Yeah, it's to splash some paint around,
Probably.
They put some plants outside. That's the only thing I
Yeah.
noticed.
Gee, that's weird.
Yeah,
I hate all those rescue shows. They're horrible.
yeah.
People flipping houses and stuff.
Oh yeah. Those are fake too, though. Of course,
Yeah.
Bar rescue shows. My stepdad used to work at a bar they actually came to, and they're asking who would fight with them.
Oh, really?
They're
Yeah.
trying
Oh,
to give
yeah.
everyone- yeah. They're trying to give everyone parts and shit. Like who would play
Yeah.
what? Who would do what?
Yeah, the producers want all the drama.
Like a security guy, I guess. Like, for that, they got like one of the workers, a girl worker, just sit there as a security. When
Yeah.
my stepdad was security,
Right.
big guy. If they replace him with some girl, that way it looks. What? This is security.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Okay, cool. All right, then let's move on. So we talked about some of your influences as far as film, music. What about modern music? As far as let's talk about how you got into psychobilly. So you grew up listening to rockabilly. Let's talk about when you first started playing music, how you got your guitar, and maybe some of the earlier projects you were doing.
Good question. Yeah, I mean, so I guess when I was around about 12 or 13, I picked up just a crappy acoustic guitar that I think my granddad had, and he gave me. The neck was broken, it had broken off on it, and I just started strumming away, whatever, probably like a Buddy Holly song or something like that, because I loved Buddy Holly. And then I got into the Stray Cats too. Yeah, definitely. I loved the Stray Cats when I was young. So they Runaway Boys. I heard that album. I was like, this is awesome. I was probably 11 or 12 at the time. And then I met a guy that lived near me, and he gave me a copy of the Meteors' Undead, Unfriendly, Unstoppable.
I want to try to gauge the time on this too. So around 11 or 12, what year was that possibly? Like, I mean, what year was 90s, late 80s?
Oh well, that was the 80s. Hang on. Yeah, no.
No, you're not that old, man.
No,
I don't
I'm not
see
that
one
old.
gray hair. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, that was in the 90s. That was early 90s. Yeah, late 80s, early 90s, actually. Yeah.
Trying to get the road to Zombie Ghost Train here.
The
the
Road to
timeline.
Zombie Ghost Train. Yeah. So yeah, I got that album off him, which I thought was awesome, and I got what else? Oh, the Gun Club, Fire of Love. And Gun Club is
Gun
still
Club.
one of my favorite all-time bands. Such a great band. And then I also got off him Crazy Cavern and the Rhythm Rockers live at the Rainbow, which I played to death as well. So I had those albums, which I loved, and that was I think that was kind of the gateway for me. It was I was already into rock and roll and rockabilly, and then I heard that stuff, that more modern, you could call it that, and got into that, and then got into like Guana Bats and Batmobile and all those great bands. That stuff was kind of hard to find in Australia in that time, in the late 80s. There was a couple of cool record stores, so I'd make a trip in there, on the train after school, and
Was it like a long trip? Were you like?
it was like an hour.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you really had to work to get your
Make an
music.
effort, yeah, man, yeah.
Plan your day around
couldn't
it.
download it.
Pack a little lunch.
Yeah, pack a lunch.
Because you're like, what? You were 11 or 12?
Yeah, I was probably, by the time I was catching the train into record stores, I was probably like 13 or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and and I used to go to record fairs as well, actually. Yeah, and I remember buying
Record fairs? I don't even know what that is.
I don't know, what do you call them over here? You don't call record fairs over here?
Do we have record fairs in here, George?
I'm sure you call it a record fair. It's just like a swap meet for records,
Oh,
really.
okay.
Yeah. So I remember buying some cool stuff there. Like I bought the Blood on the Cats compilation, and Rockabilly Psychosis and the Garage Disease, which I love.
Oh,
I
that's a
love
cool
that.
one. That's a really cool one.
Yeah. So that was awesome. I remember buying a Polecats 10-inch. It's like John I'm Only Dancing or something on pink
fuck
vinyl.
yeah, dude.
So yeah.
You're starting off well. You're starting off real well.
Yeah, so I just pick up stuff that I thought, looked cool, that appealed to me, and I was like, this stuff's awesome.
There's record fairs like every week in Los Angeles. You don't even know that.
Oh, there you go.
Damn, we suck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stu. You taught us something.
Yeah. I've been going to them since I was young.
We're the generation of MP3s.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's different, isn't it? I mean, having to work for your music, because it's like those albums that I had on, that I had a copy of on cassette, and then I'd finally find the album on vinyl. I'll be like, awesome, here's this album, that I had, and it was hard to find shit.
Do you still have some of this stuff? Maybe in your storage?
I have all of it.
Oh, you still have all of it?
Yeah. I don't think I throw anything out. I'm a bit of a hoarder myself, so I've got all that stuff. Yeah, still there, tucked away.
I should bet when I meet a hoarder, because I'm the exact opposite.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah,
good at
man.
getting rid of stuff?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I love getting rid of stuff. I don't like having a bunch of stuff. Like, I guess my place is small, so that's what happened,
Yeah.
Because before I moved to this place, it's really small. I used to have a bunch of shit, and I'm like, and I had to move more than once. So I'm
Right.
like, I want to make it at one carload,
Yeah, I know. That's the downside, definitely. But it's hard because collecting stuff and old stuff, I'd see it, and it's like, well, I might never see this again, so I need to buy it.
You just don't buy anything cool. That's what it is.
Yeah. I regret it though, because I really want to get back into like collecting action figures and stuff too. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, dude, I don't have space for it.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, space is always the thing. Yeah. I had an apartment back in Australia, and that was full of stuff. Everything I've collected over the years: monster toys and tiki stuff, and records, and Day of the Dead stuff, and just
Speaking
whatever.
of tiki stuff, and I mentioned Star Wars, did you see they're coming out with a line of tiki Star Wars cups?
No.
They have like a tiki Boba Fett cup. I just saw someone posting online.
Huh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I love how there's Star Wars everything now. People get burned out. Not me. Bring it all on. Bring it all on.
Yeah, Disney are trying to make their money, aren't they?
Yeah.
However much they spent on the Star Wars franchise.
I think $4 billion on it.
Yeah, they got to make their money back.
$80 for each cup.
$80 for a cup.
Star Wars tiki mugs.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
$80 for that?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It's also the funny thing.
Another
about-
reason I don't collect.
Right, yeah, I know. Well, that's the funny thing about collecting. Like, I've always been into old shit, and I love collecting old stuff. But it's like, now it's expensive. Back then no one cared about it. They just throw it away. It was in the thrift store for $2.
Oh, I see.
And now
yeah.
it's like, since like, I don't know, the 50s, 60s revival, like Mad Men and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
All
That's a good point.
Retro
yeah.
revival or whatever. All that stuff's expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I held on to it, because I
like
couldn't afford it now.
See, it's the hipsters.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Curly mustache and tiki
You go
mugs.
to Target,
Yeah.
you see like the 1950s moldy chairs and stuff like that.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. It's like, what? I know.